Good morning, friends. We have ourselves another new week, and with it comes a brand new portal once more. Three Kingdoms has arrived. The last Three Kingdoms portal introduced the new Renegades family, and they have brought us a brand new hero. I'm sorry, not Renegades, Outlaws family. My apologies. But, anyways, when these new heroes dropped, they did some very impressive things. They are some well sought after heroes. We have a brand new one. Let's take a peek at what they're offering us this time around. This guy's name is Chao Gai, and we'll take a quick reminder here of the family bonus. It is going to be for one, two, or three heroes. We have a 50, 60%, or 70% critical chance. That's a ton of critical that it gives to these family members, and for a very good reason. We'll go into that as we go, and obviously they do get a boost for this event. All right, down into our passives department, we have Cleanse on Critical Special Attack. When this character scores a critical hit with their special skill, they safely being the key word there, cleanse the latest cleansable status ailment from all allies. This effect can only activate once per turn. Also has Righteous Rebellion. When this character's special skill hits a character that had higher current HP, gain 20% boosted health. When this character special skill hits a character that had higher current HP, gain 20% mana. Each of these effects can only activate once per turn. And then finally, resist bleed damage. This character has innate resistance against bleed damage. Okay, that's kind of fun. And then also his Aether power is defense up, which makes him tankier for the first 6 turns of the battle. All right, now, operating at very fast. Ooh, that's fun. This this character's special skill has a chance to deal critical hits. So what does that mean? That means the chance of dealing a critical hit is based on the hero's overall critical chance when the damage is dealt. Whoops, hey, give me that back. Critical hits caused the special skill to do 50% more damage. Critical hits can reduce the enemy's max health in PvP battles. This effect is stronger against boosted health. All right, so basically, if he critical hits, he's doing an extra 50% damage, and this guy gives himself, with his family bonus, at least a 50% chance to crit on top of his normal crit, I believe. So he's probably critting more than he doesn't crit. When he crits, he is safely cleansing the latest dispellable buff from all allies. This is operating it very fast. So I wouldn't say he's like a completely reliable cleanser, but he's pretty darn good at doing some of that. He also deals 420% damage to the target, and then he casts full removal on himself. Okay, and if you're unfamiliar with full removal, it's going to remove all status effects, stacks, growth, wither effects, removes even status effects and stacks that are otherwise undispellable or uncleansable. This is going to be for 2 turns that he shifts into this ghost form. When the ghost form expires, all allies get plus 40% critical for 2 turns. This effect is undispellable. Okay. Gosh, there's a whole lot of caveat going on here. There's a lot to consider. Okay. I mean, honestly, this guy is doing a lot of weird stuff. He is operating it very fast. He's obviously a sniper. He is going to be dealing a 420% damage hit, which with his attack stat is going to be a significant hit, but only to one target. And then he's going to ghost himself, which means he removes all of his buffs, etc. Debuffs, buffs, and disappears for 2 turns, where he'll sit as a ghost. What do we know about Ghost? Well, he can't be targeted and hit by special effects, including buffs, etc., heals, whatever you want to say. He also will create a ghost lane for your opponent to get free tiles to go through, so understand that they are going to be scoring some free hits there, unless you can give this guy, like, minions. For example, if he has maybe some other Three Kingdoms people in there giving him minions, instead of those tiles ghosting, they'll run into the minions. That's a little bit nicer, so you can consider that. But otherwise, they get a free lane because he's going to be at very fast, pretty much ghosted the majority of the fight. The nice part about that, it's going to be harder to kill this guy. For sure, it's going to be harder to kill this guy because he keeps disappearing into his little ghost form again. But he's not healing or anything like that when he's in there, so he will eventually die, but he might be the last man standing. The all allies get 40% critical for 2 turns. This effect is undispellable. That's interesting too, because if you consider his other boost critical, I think that gives this guy basically 100% chance to critical on his hits for the most part. I don't think they won't crit as long as they hit. So that means that he's going to be doing an extra 50% damage, making his 420% hit more like a 630% hit to one target. I think it's important to focus on that because he more or less is saying that's what he's going to do. His first hit will have somewhere like a 70% chance to crit, but from that point forward, he really should just be critting all the time, leaving your team with an undispellable crit buff for 2 turns, helping you deal more damage with your AoEers or whoever else is really hitting. Um, he's a strange little package. It's hard for me to fully judge this guy because I want to be unimpressed by a character that keeps ghosting himself and is not around creating a free tile lane and all this other stuff. Um, because of that, I want to put him at a 7, which is just average. But then the fact that he basically has a 100% crit chance and is giving your team plus 40% crit that's undispellable for 2 turns, he'll bump himself up into the 8 range. Um, he's interesting. I don't know. I'm going to have to see him play out a little bit. I want to know how detrimental it is that there's going to be this free lane for people to power up against your team. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely interesting. I would level him if I got him. I think I'd probably prefer any of the previous 3 heroes released in the last portal, but we'll give this guy an 8 out of 10. And if you pull him, congrats. All right, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful morning, and we'll talk to you soon.